Hello everyone, this is Akansh Suman here. Now we are going to discuss the law of gearing. Okay. So for the body to be considered as a gear, what is the criteria needed that we are going to study? Law of gearing means if you want to make a gear, what is the law that you must follow in order to make gears? So that is we are going to discuss. Okay. So I am going to consider two random bodies. I am not considering gears and the pinions. I am just considering two random bodies. We are looking at the end of the law of gearing. What is the law that is needed for the body to be considered as a gear? Okay. So that is I am going to consider two random bodies. That is the first body I am making. This is the body, and the another body is like that. Okay. This is two random bodies, and these two bodies having the center of rotations, it is in rotation with an angular velocity omega 1. Okay, if it is in anti-clockwise direction, it would be in the clockwise direction. So it is in clockwise direction and having the angular velocity that is omega 2, and the center is O1 and there is another center is O2. Okay, and the meeting point of these two bodies are at Q. Okay, this is Q, and I'm going to meet them. I'm going to connect them, that is O1 Q and that is O2 Q. Now I can connect O1 O2 also. Yes or no? I can also connect O1 O2. See here. Now we all know that if two bodies are in motion, or you can say two bodies are in rotation, so one body exert a force on the another body in that direction. Yes or no? If it is in rotation with the omega 1 velocity, it is in rotation with the omega 2 velocity. So one body will exert a force on another body. Okay. So there will be the line of action of forces. So it would be like that. The line of action for these two bodies would be like that. Are you getting my point? This basically a line of action. When one body is exerting the force on the another body, this would be the line of action. This is a line of action, that is F. Now this line of action has an intersection with the O1 O2 line. This is an intersection. I am going to give a name as P this point. Okay, this is a point P I am considering. I am going to write here that O1 O2 O1 O2 is a fixed line, because O1 O2 is a fixed center about which the bodies are in rotation. So I can say O1 O2 is a fixed line. It is not going to be changed. Fixed line. Yes or no? Okay. Now draw a perpendicular to line of action. So that is a perpendicular to that. So that is a perpendicular line, and I'm going to draw another perpendicular this. Okay. So basically this is a point N, and this I'm considering point N. Point M. Okay. This is an angle alpha, and this angle is beta. Okay. Now see here. You all know that when the body is in rotation, it is having a tangential velocity. So body, this is second body is having the tangential velocity in the perpendicular direction to the radius. So that would be in that direction. That would be in that direction. Yes or no? This would be like that, perpendicular to the radius. And the tangential velocity of the first body would be in that direction. Yes or no? So I can write it as since it is rotation with the omega 2 angular velocity, so I can write V2 is equal to R omega 2, and R is what? What is R? O2Q is R. Okay. So that is O2Q. And I can write V1, tangential velocity of the first body, that is omega 1 and O1Q. Yes or no? I hope you are going to understand. Now, see here. This angle is alpha. This angle is alpha. This is 90 degree. That means this is the 90 minus alpha. Yes or no? If this is 90 minus alpha and we know that this and this, that means the V1 line of action of V1 and the O1Q is perpendicular. So if this is 90 minus alpha, that means this would be considered as alpha. Yes or no? This angle would be alpha. Yes or no? So I'm going to write here this as, this completely angle is considered as alpha. Yes or no? I hope you are going to understand. This would be, so sorry, this is alpha. See, this angle is alpha, okay, and this is 90 degree. So that means this is basically 90 minus alpha. Yes or no? If this is 90 minus alpha, see, this is 90 minus alpha, and we all know that this is perpendicular to this line. V1 line of action of V1 is perpendicular to O1Q. That means if this is 90, it is completely 90 and this is 90 minus alpha. So I can write this angle as alpha. Yes or no? This angle will be considered as alpha. Okay. Now see here, if this is beta, this is 90 minus beta, and we all know that V2 line of action is perpendicular to O2Q. If this is completely 90 and this is 90 minus alpha, and 90 minus beta, sorry, if this is 90 minus beta, this is 90, so then this angle would be considered as beta. Yes or no? This angle would be considered as beta because this completely 90, this is 90 minus alpha. You have to subtract 180 minus 90 minus 90 minus alpha, 90 minus beta, you will get the beta. Yes or no? So this angle is beta. Now, for proper contact, I am going to write here, for proper contact, what is happening? For proper contact between the bodies, V1 cos alpha. For proper contact, V1 cos alpha equal to V2 cos beta. See here in the diagram you can see there is a line of actions of the two bodies. Okay, if you want to make proper contact between two bodies, you have to equal the velocity of that body along that line of action. Okay, because the line of action is in that direction, so that means the velocity component of the bodies along the line of actions would be equal. So I'm going to taking a component of the V1 and the V2 along the line of action. Just okay, you just have to remember that for proper contact, V1 cos alpha is equal to V2 cos beta. So that means that is V1. I can write V1 as R omega. We all know that V is equal to omega R. Okay, so V1 is basically omega 1 into R1. What is R1? That is O1Q. So that is, I'm going to make separate. See here, V1 we can write it as omega 1 R1. Omega 1, and what is R1? O1Q. And cos alpha, I can write cos alpha as base upon hypotenuse. Okay, what is base here? Base is O1m, and what is hypotenuse? O1Q. So base is O1m and hypotenuse is O1Q. So I can write here V2 cos beta, omega 2 into R2. R2 is what? O2Q. And cos beta, we can write it as cos beta base upon hypotenuse. And what is base? O2n is base. O2n is base upon hypotenuse is O2Q. So this would be cancel out, this would be cancel out, and this and this and this would be cancel out, and finally we will get omega 1 O1m is equal to omega 2 O2n. So I can write here that omega 1 upon omega 2, that is O2n upon O1m. Yes or no? This relation we are getting, so I am considering this as equation number 1. Okay. Now I am just making a separate diagram, that is the line of action, and that is the, see, this is a line of action. We have seen this is a line of action. Now we are going to make a relation. This is O1, O2, this is n perpendicular to that, and this is n, this is m, this is perpendicular to that. This is basically P point, because this is a line of action, and we have found that the intersection of the line of action and the O2 O1 line is getting a intersection point, that is considered as P. We have denoted as P. Okay. Now here you can see O1M P is a similar triangle to O2 and P. Yes or no? And we get the relation in the, we have got the relation, that is O1 upon O2, omega 1 upon omega 2 is equal to O2n upon O1m. So we are going to write here that O1 upon O2, that is basically O2n upon O1m. O2n upon O1m, so I can write it as, because both are the similar triangles, so I can write here that O2p upon O1p, and I can write Pn upon Pm. So basically this is the relations we got. That is an important relations you must remember. Okay. We all know, I already told you in the starting, that for the bodies to be considered as a gear, we know that omega 1 upon omega 2 is constant. For gear, we all know that for gear, velocity ratio is constant, that means omega 1 upon omega 2. That is just for the gear. Okay, I already discussed in the previous lectures that omega 1 upon omega 2 is a constant for the body to be considered as a gear. If the body is gear, we can say this is the ratio of the velocity is constant. If this is constant, see here, O2p upon O1p would be constant, yes or no? O2p upon O1p would be constant, yes or no? And I already told you that O1 O2 is a fixed, O1 O2 is a fixed line. I already told you here at the starting, O1 O2 is a fixed line. So if O1 O2 is already fixed, O1 O2 is already fixed, so I can say the P is fixed, yes or no? If O1 O2 is already fixed, and we know that the ratio of O2p upon O1p is constant, that means P must be fixed. So what is the statement I can write here? That the line of action must pass through the fixed point, that is the pitch point, on the line joining the center of rotation of the gears. Yes or no? I can write it as, so I'm going to write the next important statement, that is you can write it as note. That is the important relation we got, that the line of action must pass through the pitch point. Pitch point means this is a fixed point. Okay, through the fixed point, and fixed point is considered as the pitch point, because we know that pitch point is the pitch point is that point from where line of action is going to be passed. We have proved that. Okay, so line of action must pass through the fixed, that means the pitch point, fixed point, that is pitch point, on the line joining two centers, on the line joining the center of rotation, joining the center of rotation, center of rotation of gear. Okay, so line of action must pass through the pitch point on the line joining the center of rotation of the gears. This is the line of action. It must pass through the pitch point on the line of joining the center of rotation of the gear. So if this is the law of gearing basically, so if you want to make the body to, if you want to make the gear from any body, you must have to satisfy the law of gearing. So I'm going to write here that law of gearing must satisfy, law of gearing must satisfy, okay. I hope you will understanding the law of gearing. Basically this line is very important. Again I am saying that the line of action must pass through the pitch point on the line joining the center of rotation of the gears. Okay, so this is one another important relations, and that is the conclusions we get from the law of gearing.